Another one? What's with these guys?
Hello everyone and welcome to Red United TV. It's your boy Ivorian Spice and we are back at it again with the latest Manchester United news. Big up to those who are tuned in. Of course, as always, remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and remember to share. And if you want to contribute to the channel, you can always contribute via the link description. And of course, guys, Red United TV are proud to partner up with BetUS, one of the most leading American betting companies in the United States. If you guys want 125% cash bonus as well and promos, please click on the links and you'll get that promo. Click on the link to join BetUS, place your deposit and get to betting as the Premier League campaign is about to start. And of course, you're here today wondering what the hell are you all doing today. As you can see, guys, the rumors with Maguire, it's been crazy. It has resurfaced and we're here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Maguire, Brandon Williams, our manager, and also Cristiano Ronaldo, which we have news on, and also Frankie de Jong. But first of all, let me introduce you to Jerome. Jerome, big up to you, fam. Big bless for joining us, man. What are you saying today?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. I'm all good in the hood. Just got through the working day. Now just, evening time settings now. Got a lot to discuss. And yeah, just let's see what happens with this transfer market, innit? We're just all sitting, waiting and hoping that more activity takes place. So
first of all, Jerome, before you even get started, what's your thoughts on the transfer market for Manchester United so far? They've only signed 3 players: Lisandro, Christian Eriksen, and Malacia.
Yeah, so far I'm a bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie, because the season that we had last season, the worst season in our Premier League history, I thought we were going to be like serious in this market and looking to just shoot our shot, get all the players that we need in ready to do pre-season together. But now we've only got Malacia that's in pre-season out of our new signings. So it looks like the club are dragging their heels with getting signings in, and it looks like we're working under a tight budget, which is a bit disappointing, seeing as we're not in the Champions League. We need to be serious to show that we're a club that mean business. But at the moment, we're running like a joke club at the moment. So hopefully we get some new signings in before the season starts. But it's not ideal preparation. Like, we've got 3 signings in, but it's not going to help us move forward. It's not enough. So we just have to see what happens over these next few weeks before the season starts. But right now, it's not a great market at the moment from the transfer business that we've done.
No, it's true. I agree with you in all of that, man. Like we was hoping that we can get some signings, especially strengthen the midfield. Big up to Diego C. Palace that says, please hit the likes as you enter the stream chat. Yeah, you have to, man. Big up to Diego C. Palace, man. You got Palace playing Arsenal. Hopefully, on a Friday night. Sky Sports knows what they're doing. Arsenal versus Palace on Friday, opening game of the season. They really know what they're doing. Arsenal's due to get a spanking. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm really saying. But yeah, with the transfers, Jerome, I'm with you on that one, man. I was hoping that Manchester United would actually heavily invest before we went and flew on tour. I was hoping that Manchester United would have invested in at least 2 midfielders, 3 midfielders by now. But you know how Manchester United move, it's never been like that. And guys, as always, remember you can subscribe, smash that like button as always. But Jerome, first of all, let's get straight into it because, of course, you see the title. The title is called Barcelona and Harry Maguire Rumours. Are they true and all that stuff? And you know what? For a long time, we've chosen to be thinking that, why would Barcelona want to go for Harry Maguire? And these news just go away. We heard it a couple of, I think it was like a month ago. a month ago,
So-
like, and then next thing you know is like it's resurfacing itself again, and I'm thinking, wow, is it this English media's trying to spin to make us think that Harry Maguire is good enough to just bring out these bring out the speculations with Barcelona, and as you can see here, Jerome, as you can see here,
yeah.
it's not no joke, and I know, guys, it says the Sun. But of course, I've got Manchester Even News as well. It's not just the Sun that's coming out with it. The whole media's coming out with it. It says here that Harry Maguire rejected Barcelona's transfer swap as part of the Frankie de Jong deal to stay and fight for Manchester United. Guys, I'm not even capping. This came out on the 24th at 3:30, as you can see there. So it's not a cap, you know. It says that, Jerome, Harry Maguire rejected a chance to play for Barcelona so he could stay at Manchester United and fight through his difficult patch. Yeah, the Red Devils captain was heavily criticized for his performance last season and was booed by his own fans, both at the club and international level. And he's been getting booed ever since. He's due to, of course, it says as well. It does say something about his trial that's also pending. As I can show you right here. It says, according to Greek police sources, that the court will set a date for the late spring or early summer next year on the island of Sirius, which is where appeals are heard. It means Maguire will be free to focus on a start to United's Premier League season and World Cup in Qatar in November and December. But it leaves him waiting nearly 3 years to clear his name over the bus stop, and will also involve his brother Joe and sister Daisy. Like, to be honest with you, it's a bit crazy that this guy is constantly linked to Barcelona. He's getting away with it as well in terms of his personal life, but it is what it is, man. Like this I thought it was rumors at first, but then I thought to myself, really and truly, this English media is just trying to push us that Maguire is actually good, that they're trying to sell it to us that Maguire is actually good. Like, it's not the first time, this is the second time now. What's your take on this, Jerome?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when I saw the stories resurface again this morning, I thought it's getting a bit desperate now, because the first time I saw it, I just laughed. I thought, why are Barcelona going to want Harry Maguire out of all the defenders in the world? They're going to target a defender that's come on the back of a very poor season. You know, his poorest season, where we finished the season with a 0 goal difference. And Maguire was at fault for a lot of the goals that we conceded. So why on earth would Barcelona want to invest in a suspect defender like that? So that's for a start. Secondly, I think all of this is just a PR stunt to make everyone think that Maguire is actually, like you said, a decent defender that's in demand. Because nobody wants him. We're not going to be able to recruit the £80 million that we got for him. So what they're trying to do is get this narrative in everyone's head that Maguire is actually a good defender, so we can forget that we actually need to fully strengthen our defence, and that everyone's going to be happy that Maguire is going to be our starting defender and remain captain of the side. So I'm not reading into that too much, because me personally, I think that Barcelona will probably want us to pay them to take him. Because that's how bad he is. So we're not recouping any of the £80 million from Maguire. So that's what I think it is. It's just to make him look like he's good. But the fact that he got booed in Australia, Australia's on the other side of the world. What do they know about what's going on?
It was Australian Crystal Palace fans that were booing the crap accordingly. Because of course, Jerome, remember I quote this. We don't boo our own players, Jerome. So it definitely wasn't the Manchester United fans that were booing Harry Maguire. It was the Crystal Palace fans that were booing Harry Maguire. But you can just know by that Harry Maguire sucks worldwide. You know. Yeah,
definitely. Well, he gets booed by England fans these days. So it's becoming a frequent thing now. It's common. It's almost like he's like the pantomime villain now, where everyone's just booing him for fun. So I do have a bit of sympathy for Harry Maguire in that sense, because some of the booing, you might be thinking, is it really necessary? Mm-hmm. He might actually be playing all right and he's getting booed, but ultimately he's not good enough to be starting for Man United, and he's not good enough to be the Man United captain based on what we've seen at his stint at United so far. So that rumour that he turned down Barcelona, they're one of the biggest and best clubs in the world, is just ridiculous, really. Because even though Barcelona are have got limited funds or they've got financial problems, they're still a more attractive club than United right now, in my opinion. And that's been demonstrated in the fact that they managed to get Lewandowski from Bayern Munich. They hijacked the hijacker in Chelsea for Rafinha, and it looks like they're trying to hijack Koundé of Chelsea
as well, yeah.
So they're still a star attraction, despite the fact that Real Madrid won the double last season. So that tells you all you need to know. So they're not going to be looking at those caliber of players and then looking at Harry Maguire. So I just find it hilarious, really, that because United haven't really been making much moves in the transfer market, it's almost like an unwanted distraction that we're going to be talking about Harry Maguire when we're still trying to get this De Jong deal over the line. So I'm just gonna kind of brush that aside and not get fooled by this Harry Maguire nonsense to distract us.
So you definitely think they're just trying to distract us from the real cause that we're flopping on this De Jong deal. And as I was saying before, guys, I'm even showing that this ain't just cap. It's not just the Sun, and I know how everyone feels about the Sun. Look at, I've got the Manchester United Evening News saying Harry Maguire turned down Manchester United exit to silence critics and more transfer win. Is he really silencing the critics? Well, let me get to the comments first, because before I ask you that question, Jerome, like, we need to. M says that big up M's who's watching from where he is right now, unknown location. We don't want to bait him out. We need a statement of intent signing. Diego C. Pai says in squad depth, it's important for you, Eric Ten Hag plan. I reckon definitely in terms of the midfield. M says, listen, mate, I would have paid for his flight to Barcelona. I think a lot of us would have probably emptied out our bank account.
Some of us would have driven him to the airport.
I would even pay the business class, like if it was possible. If that was the only ticket available, I think a lot of people would pay a business class ticket for him to leave. But yes, Ems was also saying maybe La Liga may suit him. You never know. You know, slow football as well, not least aggressive, all about technical abilities, but I don't know about his technical abilities sometimes. Diego C. passes, if you're Man United, play a high line, Maguire will be vulnerable at the back as the last man. He needs to work on his pace, which is going to be very hard for anyone to work on their pace. But I said, bro, I want him gone, mate. I said it with him as captain. We won't win nothing so far. We won't win nothing or really come close, which is true. If we play high line, with him, we are in trouble. That's what M says. And also says, I don't know if anyone even plays half of the 80 million fee. That's a good regard to him. And then Diego C. Palace says, you can't rest that my people now, mate. Palace only boo the Brightons and Millwall. I hear that. You see. And we got a bona fide Crystal Palace fan that says that they only boo Brighton and Millwall. They only boo the other Seagulls, which is Brighton, and boo the Lions, which is Millwall. They ain't even got time. So technically, it might be the Manchester United fan. But as I was saying there, he's there saying that he wants to silence his critics, Jerome, which is quite funny because he does have a lot of critics to silence, you know. And I don't know if he's using that to move our hearts, like he wants to ensure that Manchester United are great and he wants to be there, you know. Because of course you've got other players who left us in the in the ditch, and we also have another player that's trying to leave us in the ditch, you know, while the ship is just sinking. So what's your thoughts on that? Like, because he said again, he wants to silence his critics.
Well, if he wants to silence his critics, that's good for him, because to be honest, I can't fault that. It's a good mentality to have if he wants to do that. But my only concern is I just don't know if he's good enough, full stop, especially for Eric Ten Hag's philosophy. If we're going to be playing the high line, Maguire hasn't got the pace. So unless Eric Ten Hag's going to fall back on his philosophy to accommodate Maguire, I don't see how it's going to work. Maguire could try his absolute best, but he just doesn't have that pace. And he's 29 now. How is he going to all of a sudden get faster? Like you usually would get slower with your pace as you get older, and you need to use your football brain and have a good IQ to counter the fact that you're losing your pace, but you're working on other areas to mean that you don't have to utilize your pace as much as you normally would. So I don't know if he's ready for that, to be honest. And the Premier League is getting more faster, fierce, and more physical than ever. So I just don't know how he's going to be able to fit in with Eric Ten Hag, no matter how much talk he's saying about he wants to impress or silence the critics and do his best for the club. I just think that the ship sailed based on last season, to be honest. I don't know how you come from that. It's all good talking now in pre-season. When it gets to the crunch and the world's watching, it's a different kettle of fish. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But he's gonna stay. He's always gonna be playing because the club invested £80 million on them. They're not like someone like Chelsea that will just write it off and just be like, we made a mistake and we move. We're just gonna be sticking on this Harry Maguire thing until he leaves, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to leave.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he wants to leave. I think he's probably at his dream club, like Frankie De Jong is, because I'm a firm believer that I think Harry Maguire is a Manchester United fan. His whole family is they are supporters of Manchester United, so hence why he doesn't want to leave. Hence why he chose to join Manchester United instead of City for less money, as he would say, to try and sway us. But we just can't really take that serious, I'm not gonna lie to you, Jerome. Even though that he's chosen Man United and opted for a less wage, but with Harry Maguire, he has to prove himself. Like I'm of the belief that he can improve under Erik ten Hag's tactics. I think Erik ten Hag's system can kind of protect him as long as we have the midfielders that can do the job to prevent him from getting the ball, because as you can see with the way Manchester United play, we're still relying on our centre-backs to start the play for us, and none of our midfielders are picking up the balls. You don't see Fred pick up the balls to start the transition of attack, and that's why I keep on saying that Frankie De Jong is very, very, very vital, because Frankie De Jong, when he was playing for Ajax, we start off every attack for Ajax, so we need someone like that will just drop deep. We can't rely on seeing people like Lindelof on the halfway line and the balls just constantly going between Lindelof and Maguire. And we saw that last season as well. So definitely.
I agree. I think the midfield, I'm just surprised we haven't even addressed it. I know obviously we're trying to pursue De Jong, but it looks like if we don't get De Jong, then we're not getting anyone. And I can't imagine us just starting with McFred, because obviously everyone's got their views on Donny, and I still rate Donny as a player, but obviously we haven't seen them perform for United yet. But I don't think Donny's going to be able to do anything in this current United midfield. He needs to have Erik ten Hag sort of players in there, because at the moment it's just a mixture of different managers, players, and even up to now, it doesn't seem that they understand each other. So no matter what Erik ten Hag does with that midfield that we've got, I don't know if he's able to get them to play exactly how he wants. Obviously, pre-season, some of the games looked good, but when it's crunch time, it's a total different level, because everyone's still getting their fitness up at the moment. So just hope that we get this midfield, because if we do, as you said, it will put less pressure on the defenders. If we've got more of the ball and we're controlling games, then it's less pressure on the defenders and they can relax a bit more. But if you're going into every game knowing that you're just getting pammed, and the ball just coming to you every 5 minutes, you're going to be like, I'm tired, I can't be bothered. Literally, like, you midfielders are crap. Like, help us out. Literally. So you're right, midfield is so important to get the confidence in the back four.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because I don't think we'll go anywhere with this current midfield that we currently have. It's not going to get us to play the football that we need. It's not going to make us control games that we definitely need to, bro. That's the one thing, is that we need to control games. And we haven't really controlled games from midfield. We haven't won the midfield battle for God knows how long. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen Manchester United win a midfield battle, Jerome,
It's true. The funny thing is, the funny thing is that obviously a lot of us say, Oli was just playing part of the bus football and stuff. But we did that under Mourinho, but Mourinho just knew how to do it with a winning formula. Oli was just vibes. But the point I'm trying to make is that we haven't been playing that front foot football for years since Louis van Gaal, even though Louis van Gaal didn't have as good a squad as we apparently have now. So it's just, like you said, just feels like it's like that attacking football just gone from the club. Like 6-7 years, it's disappeared. It's like the club don't know how to play attacking football anymore. It's literally just gone. So Erik ten Hag has got a big job in his hands to change that mindset and the culture of the club, because everyone's just sitting back and just waiting for other teams to make mistakes. And that kind of football right now is outdated. That's not going to be winning you trophies. So we just to see what Ten Hag does, but we're gonna need more players in. Like that current squad is not going to be able to do what Eric Ten Hag wants long term.
Absolutely, I agree with you, man. As Diego C. Palace did ask a question, he said, "Could the Bruno and Frank De Jong and Fred or Donny combination work?" Yeah. You know what? Let me answer it first, before then I'll pass it on to you. I think definitely a Van der Beek and a Fred with Bruno in midfield can definitely work. You know, even a Van der Beek and Donny and Bruno, although it's highly attacking in terms of what Frankie De Jong will do and Donny Van der Beek will do, but it's the way we play football. If we can restrain teams from actually having a go out, so if we're dominating the midfield, then that will still work, especially in the lesser games where you can play these free offensive-minded players. But De Jong as well is very good at his position and sweeping, especially for Ajax. It's just that it's a shame that I keep on saying that Barcelona is unable to be the player that he wants to be because he has a legend playing in his position, and that's the club captain of Barcelona, which is Sergio Busquets, and that's his role. He plays the Sergio Busquets role extremely well, so it's just unfortunate. But I think that combination, Diego C. Palace, definitely could work for Manchester United. I see us dominating midfield, especially with Fred as well. Fred will be vital because Fred as well, he gets about, he's got the legs, he's decent. He's a decent baller. He can spread the ball if needed to. He can get the ball there and about, not at his finest, but you know he can do a job compared to McTominay. But what's your thoughts on Diego C's comment right there?
Yeah, I think it can work because I think Frankie Joe, he could play that deeper role where he can take the ball off the defense, spray it forward, do short passes, long passes, break the lines. And obviously you've got Fred who gets about the pitch, so he's the one that could be like sort of like the box-to-box player. And then obviously you've got Donny who's good at making runs and creating spaces for others in the midfield, and he could kind of get the 1-2 shots combination going and interchange with whoever he's playing with in the middle of the park. And then obviously I would prefer to have Bruno further forward in a more sort of like number 10 sort of role. So if he's at the top of that midfield, and then Frankie de Jong's at the beginning of it, and then you've got Donny and Fred dovetailing in the middle, I think that could work. I think that could work in a Ten Hag system because Frankie de Jong will give that protection to the back four. He keeps holding the ball and he doesn't lose it as often as Bruno. That's why I prefer Bruno to be further forward. And yeah, I think that could work as long as they all play in sync and everything gets them understanding each other. Because that's what pre-season was all about. That's why it would have been good to have Frankie de Jong in now and all of our signings in now working on things in pre-season instead of working when the season's already started because we'll already be on the back foot. So yeah, to answer that question, I think it definitely can work because Eric Ten Hag looks like someone that knows what he's doing. He's not just going to bring random individuals in and just say, "Yeah, go out and enjoy yourselves." He's targeting specific players specifically to play the way he wants to play. That's why he's going for De Jong. So he wouldn't go for De Jong if he didn't think he could play with those players. That's how I see it, to be honest.
No, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, man. But moving on from Harry Maguire and moving on to one of the players that's been linked for an exit, Brandon Williams, who has been linked to I think was it Brighton?
Brandon Williams. Yeah, was it Brighton? Yeah, Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. Yeah, it's Brighton.
I think I got the title wrong right there. I think I put Burnley or something like that. Yeah.
No, Burnley in the Championship. Oh yeah, yes, Brighton. Yes, Brighton. Yeah, Burnley got relegated. Yeah, Brighton would be a good move for him if it happens.
Now, reading here, of course, I need to change the thumbnail because the thumbnail says Burnley. Yeah. But yes, back to what I was saying. Yes, it says here that, as you can see, Brighton are chasing Manchester United 15 million youngster Brandon Williams as a potential replacement for Mark Cucurella. And Mark Cucurella has been involved in the move for Manchester City. So we'll just see how that works out, you know. But yes, as I was saying again, Brandon Williams as a potential replacement for Mark Cucurella through the Manchester City and us still way off the meeting their 50 million valuation. It says here that Brighton and Albion could turn their attention to Manchester United youngsters. Brandon Williams should Mark Cucurella join Manchester City. The Seagull boss Graham Potter is eyeing a move for the 21-year-old to fill the void that could be left by Cucurella with the Premier League champions still chasing the Spaniard. City have failed to match Brighton's minimum 50 million valuation of Cucurella as far, but it's likely that they will end up capturing his signature. And as you can see here, that this player right here, he's been, of course, involved in a move. Of course, he was on loan to Norwich last season, which didn't really end up really well because I think at some point he stopped playing for them.
Yeah, I didn't see much of him. I don't know if he was struggling to get into the team or not. But I didn't see, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't see too much of him. Usually I keep an eye on players out on loan, and I didn't see much of him last season. I don't know if he was struggling with injury or he just wasn't good enough to get in the team, but whatever it wasn't a good, it didn't shed any positive vibes that he's actually doing well. So I'm not surprised to see him linked with Brighton now.
Which is true though. Well, regarding Brandon, because we need to get players out this club, and they haven't been doing that for a while. It's like, who have we sold so far? We've sold Andres Pereira. We've got a lot of players out on loan, but we haven't really recuperated any money, Jerome. It's important that we should. With Brandon Williams, he was wonderful when we first saw him because we saw a player that was willing to go forward, doing everything that Luke Shaw wasn't doing. And that was very, 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 very encouraging for us Manchester United fans, just to see a player go past the halfway line and do an overlap. And that's how bad Luke Shaw was at one particular point. We all thought that Brandon Williams would probably have a decent career at Manchester United because we all thought that he's defensively, he wasn't that strong. But it is what it is with him, man. I'm looking to see if the transfer does go through so he can free up some wage budget and also add to the transfer kitty. In your opinion, what's your overall thoughts on Brandon Williams as well, his talent and etc.?
Yeah, for Brandon Williams, I'm pretty sure that he's a right-footed player playing at left back. I didn't quite understand that. I don't know why he doesn't just play at right back, but then again, who knows? And he probably thinks that he's adaptable on both flanks. But yeah, as you said, when he first started and he replaced Luke Shaw, he was quite attacking. It was quite refreshing to see him, but it just seems like it either just petered out or rival teams just kind of got hold of his game. And then all of a sudden, I saw him play against West Ham at Old Trafford, and he just got bars off the ball like he was just a little youngster in the reserves, and he just looked out of his depth. And I'm just thinking, he looks like he's been worked out, or he just lost confidence. And now we're kind of seeing his level that he hasn't really got the mentality to play for Man United. It's all good having a good few games, but at Man United, you need to be playing good week in, week out, and it just looks like the club's just too big for him, really. He went to Norwich, and we didn't hear any news of him doing well at Norwich. So now that we've got Malacia, Tellez, and Shaw playing at left back, it's like, how's he going to get game time? It's like there's too many bodies in there now. So yeah, it's looking like the right time for him to move on. And he probably knows that. His agent and his team will probably be thinking, you're not even going to probably get a game in the League Cup and FA Cup. It's just too much bodies ahead of you. So yeah, I think it's the right time to move. But maybe what they should do, put a cheeky buyback option in there, just in case. You don't know. Great.
But the thing is, do you think that he can reach that potential, Brandon Williams, to put a buyback clause, thinking that eventually he one day we can sign him and he becomes a quality left back? Because I don't see it, because if you look at his attitude, the way he was at Norwich, I remember one particular game, he took a picture. He was at home while Norwich was playing, and then I think he put middle finger up saying F Norwich, and then removed it from his social media profiles on his stories.
That's
on
crazy.
Instagram. See, so that behavior there just tells me
attitude,
that mentally he won't make it at Manchester United.
Yeah, because in my head I was thinking, United, we sometimes just sell players on the cheap and we don't really get nothing from it. So it's almost like sell him, and if worst comes to worst, put a little buyback clause in there so that you could have the option to buy him back if he somehow improved drastically under Graham Potter. See, like when Arsenal sold Fabregas and they had first refusal to get him back, and they decided not to, and then ended up going to Chelsea. We could do something similar like that, or put like a 10% sell-on clause or something. Like if he does well and then a mid-table club comes in for him and buys it from Brighton or something, and we get something for him because we're a club that we're not known to be like good at selling players for good fees.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just talking just from a commercial viewpoint, just to because in reality we should be getting a bit more than 15 million really for a young 21-year-old. That's actually quite a bargain for Brighton, to be honest, considering they're looking to sell their current left back for 50 mil to Man City. So I think United should be looking at that and saying, no, we want 20 now. For your valuing your player at 50, you're trying to take us for a mug.
It's true. We should try and get a little bit extra. But then again, I don't want it to ruin the deal because at the end of the day, we need some money to get rid of these players.
See, we're desperate.
We're desperate to sell some of these players. We don't want to over-negotiate because we're out here trying to negotiate the young deal or Barcelona. We should just try and find a way to get rid of them. But moving on from him as well, because I think we've spent so much time on him. But big up to Diego C. Palace as well, guys. Make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, let us know what your thoughts are. Make sure if you've got any questions, if you're watching on Facebook, as well, the Facebook group of Red United TV, make sure you pose your questions. Make sure you subscribe on Red United TV on the YouTube as well. Yeah, and post your comments on the playback if you guys are watching. But he said as well, for the FA Cup, League Cup, Eric Ten Hag will probably give Williams some match game. That's if he's still there. But players need to do their talk on the pitch, not on Insta. Absolutely. But moving on we move it straight on to big news that came out just this recently. And I don't think you are aware of this, Jerome. But yes, Cristiano Ronaldo, again, as we've never ever stopped talking about it. This is coming from released from the People's Person, and obviously you've got Tribal Football that came out with it. Stretford and Stretty News came out with it. A lot of Fabrizio Romano as well giving us an update saying that Cristiano Ronaldo is arriving in Manchester for talks with United over his future. Look at this guy right there. He wants to talk about his future. It says here, as you see that David Alston said as an exclusive, Cristiano Ronaldo will travel back to Manchester United today and will hold talks with Manchester United on his future. Unclear with the 37-year-old will return to training. Club stances that the club stance still not for sale, but expects him to be an important part of the side next season. So you're hearing that, guys. It says here the 37-year-old is just like he said there. Manchester do not want to sell, and like you can see that Cristiano, if you guys know where Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave, so far has been resisted by United, who in any case have not been approached by any club about a possible transfer. Bayern Munich, Napoli, PSG, Chelsea, Juventus, and Real Madrid have all reportedly turned down the chance to sign the striker. This is why his agent Jorge Mendes, kind of does sound like a whore as well.
Jorge Mendes.
It's pronounced Jorge Mendes as well. Yeah. He's been just offering him out, pimping him out all over the place, and it hasn't been working. And so far, it looks like Cristiano Ronaldo might not get his move. What do you think, Jerome? What do you think of the crunch talk that he will have? Would it be, you need to sell me, or, you know what, I'm sorry, like, I made a mistake. I'm willing to play this season and leave, or maybe sign an extension. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I think the team are due back for training tomorrow. They had a day off today, and I think that's why these reports are coming out. I think Ronaldo is gonna come back in it because obviously there was reports that he was on some compassionate leave for family reasons, but there's only so long a club can give you for that. So there was always going to be a time in this week that he was going to report back for training or report back for talks for the club. But what I think is that he's probably going to see if he can reach a compromise with United. There was talks, apparently rumours that we were going to extend his contract by a further year and loan him out. And then hopefully we get top four and then bring him back in 2023 for his final season. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if they discuss that when he has talks with them, because obviously United don't want to sell him, but Ronaldo's predicament is that he's struggling to get suitable offers from top clubs. He could obviously go to somewhere like Sporting Lisbon or the MLS or Qatar or something, but is it going to be worth his while? Because it looks like he's chasing extending his Champions League scoring record. And there's rumours that Atletico Madrid want him, but is that really the club to go there to do that? Is he really going to be scoring lots of goals at Atletico Madrid that have got a defensive style of play? and he's got a lot of running around to do. So it's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he just came back and said that, yeah, I'll stay for this season and we'll just reach a compromise. And as long as you guys stick to your word that you're gonna get players in over the next few weeks, then I'll stay. I think the conversation might steer in that direction, because if Ronaldo was going to go, surely there would have been suitable offers by now.
Yeah.
Like, it's been how long is it? He said he wanted to leave. It was like 3-4 weeks ago, and there still hasn't been any further offers. There's been rejections all over the world.
I'm sure if I was him, I'd give up and leaving. Like, you know what? Just say to myself, you know what? Like, I've been offered that bare time. No one wants to take me out. No one wants to take me on. Like, my dead thing now. Like, what's going on? I might as well just stay in this club, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, he earns 500k a week as well. No one's paying him that. At the end of the day, money talks.
But the thing about it is that it's like so funny, because of course Manchester United players are no longer in the Champions League, so they've automatically gotten a 30% wage reduction for not being in the Champions League, and he's willing to take a 30% pay cut. I don't understand, bro. Which is why do you want to leave?
It's true, but the thing is, I don't think anyone else will even pay him half what he earns now. Like, I can't see any big club paying him 250k a week at 37. At that age, with a big risk, he could collapse. Well, not collapse, but he could break down with a long-term injury at any stage in his career right now. So clubs are taking that into account. He could be an expensive luxury that doesn't play much because of his age and the fact that he won't be able to play 2 games a week every week. So those factors are what these clubs are taking into account. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if he just end up staying for this year, and he'd just be like, you know what? Nobody wants me. He won't openly say that to the club. You just say that whether it's find any suitable offers, but if there's a chance for me to stay and fulfill my final year, then I'll do that, because there's only so much his ego can take from all these rejections and clubs stalling and making offers to him.
That's true, bro. But regarding that as well, Diego C. Palace says that the friendly between Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid is going to be interesting for sure. And he also says that I can't lie, both you David De Gea and CR7 did carry your team last season and at 5 time, which you did, of course. Ronaldo's vacuumed all the goals up. De Gea went back to being the best, and when De Gea becomes his best, it means that Manchester United are about to have a post-season, isn't it, Jerome?
Yeah.
When De Gea's at his best, we have a post-season.
That means we're just going to be getting ripped apart. Week in, week out. Non-existent midfield, mistakes galore in defense, and David De Gea, 20 saves a match, man of the match. Yeah, that's going to be like, just don't even watch the game sort of vibe, because you know what the result's going to be. Yeah, I don't want another season like that. Those are nightmare seasons where you're just sitting there like not even enjoying it. You're just sitting there in stress, shouting at the TV screen. Or if you're at the stadium, just shouting and swearing at the players. So, no, we can't have another season like that.
Definitely. And moving on from that, last but not least, Jerome, you've seen Manchester United, of course, play 3 games. Was it 3 or 4? Was it 4 games on tour?
Yeah.
Liverpool victory, Melbourne victory, Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa. What have you made so far of our new manager, Erik ten Hag, the style of football, before we end the show?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with how quickly he's managed to get the team playing to close to how he wants them to play. I've seen clips of the coaching. That you can see that he's very meticulous in his coaching methods and how he wants the team to train and play. And
I think we've kind of lost Jerome there for a hot second. I'm not too sure, guys. If we can get him back, he should be able to get himself back.
Get stuck into. So I'm quite impressed so far. Obviously, it was a disappointing draw against Aston Villa, but you obviously don't need to take the results too seriously in pre-season. So it's just all about getting the fitness levels up, making sure the players understand how he wants them to play. The players getting to know each other more, because we were a team of strangers over the last few years, just playing on vibes. So now he wants the team to work in sync and make passes and patterns of play without even thinking. That's once he gets to that sort of level, then you know that we're going to be competitive again. And Just the early signs is that the players seem to have a good grasp of what he wants them to do. So it's just all about making sure that he's got the right quality and to make sure that the team remain consistent. Because that's what we need. We need consistency because we're good for the first 2-3 games, and then obviously against Aston Villa, it kind of petered out towards the end. So that's what he needs to work on, and making sure the players are consistent.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, me too. Like, I'm really excited, and I've told a lot of fans, especially in the group that I'm on, a couple of Arsenal fans, and I was like, guys, like, I've never ever in my life, and Jerome, you know this, like, you know how I felt about the past previous management. You know, I've never favored any management that came through from Moyes to Louis Van Gaal to Jose Mourinho to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is the first time I wanted a manager like him, and we got a manager that I wanted, and I've told the guys, you need to stop discrediting him because he managed at Ajax, yeah. Because at the end of the day, Arteta is nothing. He didn't do anything beyond this. You need to credit a manager that's managed at a big club in Europe, that's
Definitely.
won trophies, that's competed against the best in Europe, has gone toe to toe, and tactically showed him that he's tactically astute. A manager that can develop a team, that's got his team cherry picked by the best clubs in Europe, and still managed to build another team and challenge again for the league, and also do something in Europe and progress into the knockout rounds. And of course, that he's got that talent of developing youth players. So you need to recognize that he's a top player. And I told guys, yeah, this is the first time Manchester have got a manager that can technically bring them back to where they need to. All they need is to back him and support him. That's all they need to do. And I'm
Yeah,
looking
definitely.
forward, but the football, it will be good as long as we get the players. And the midfield is important. As long as we can get the midfielders in, then we will shell in terms of the way we want to play football. Because of course, you know, all battles are won in midfield in football. If you're not
Definitely.
winning the midfield battle, you ain't doing nothing in general. Because we need
We've
that
seen it
really.
all the last season. We saw it. We're
We
always
saw
in the
it.
midfield battle.
Yep, always losing it, always losing it. So I urge everyone, like, watch out for Manchester United. We're not going to be back. I said it before, we're not going to be back. It's going to take some time. Like, I'm just saying that I'm allowed to have expectations of trying to finish in the top four. Arsenal fans think that we're being deluded. So I was like to them, I told them, so in the last 10 years, that you've never really made it into the top four, but your aspiration has always been the top four Champions League return. So why is it wrong for a Manchester United fan who's probably got better players, individual players than Arsenal, to not think that our target is to get at least top four and try and do something in the Europa League? Is that far fetched? Is that
No,
crazy?
definitely.
Is
It's
that
definitely no.
lunatic? No more expectation.
Yes.
We know we're not
Yeah.
good, but we know that our expectations will always be try and get back into the Champions League. But you Arsenal fans have been here for the last 4 to 5 years, finishing eighth, seventh, sixth, eighth, seventh, sixth, with the expectation of returning back into Champions League. But it's wrong for us.
You know, the funny thing is, we had our worst Premier League season and finished sixth. We scraped sixth. But when you look at the table, we weren't that far off top four. We were only a couple of games off top four. So if we get that consistency, then top four should be okay. That in reality, and Chelsea kind of fell off towards the end as well, even though they finished third place. So as long as we get some good consistency going and we beat all the teams below us comfortably, then top four is definitely in our grasp. Obviously, it's going to be a lot tougher because everyone's strengthening, but the way Eric Ten Hag wants to play, attacking football, I think we're going to be in for a decent season. I'm not expecting us to win trophies or anything next year, but I think we're going to definitely push, put a good run together for this top four run, and then obviously have a good Europa League run as well and see what we can do there.
Big up Diego C. Palace. That's just wishing for us on I think it's the 5th. My Wilf, Ezzy, and Benteke will put Arsenal back to their process, hopefully. So all I ask is for Man United to beat Brighton. We will beat the Seagulls because at the end of the day, the Seagulls shattered on us last season, and we can still
God.
smell that shit since last season. So it's still on the top of our head. So want to try and beat them, and we have to. Once I know that Manchester United do beat Brighton comfortably, we're making what's it called? We're making amends for our errors from last season. It starts off with Brighton. If we can beat them, then we're making corrections from where we went wrong last season. We shall see. But guys, as always, big up to everyone that's tuning as well. Smash that like button as well. Subscribe as always. And if you always want to contribute to the channel, you can always contribute via PayPal or send a super chat. Big up Diego C. Palace is actively here involved as well. And I think if one thing, Pat, we have this team set up to break down the service to get Gabriel Jesus. You definitely will be doing it. And I'll be watching that match as well. I'll be cheering on Crystal Palace, my local South London team. You get me? Up the
Definitely.
Palace, CPFC, you get me? But yeah, finest in South London, you get me? You get me? But yeah, as I was saying, guys, and if you want to download the Bet US app, you can always click on the link. But as I said before, we are partnered up with Bet US. We are doing things on Red United TV. Big up Jerome for showing up as well. It's been me and
Yeah,
him
man.
holding up the show. You see how we do chop it up
Yeah, man.
nicely.
Yeah, man, definitely. Man, thanks for having me as always.
As
Always
my
a
brother.
pleasure to come on the show and chop it up. So, yeah.
But yeah, to you guys, that's it, guys. This is the end of the show. We shall see you next week, Monday, 8 p.m. And then, of course, this Wednesday on Instagram TV, as we have reached 11,000 followers. Make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. on IG for IG Live for the latest Manchester United news. Tomorrow, I'm on Sarcasm City at 5:30. Hopefully, we start at 5:30 for the Mandem United podcast. Again, as always, remember to guys to keep yourself united. And again, the watch along for the community show this Saturday. And also remember to keep it Red United. We're out. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace out.